So today we are back in the Champions League. We've got the Champions League group stage draw, which is exciting. But what's even more exciting is that in real life, the Champions League is back up and running. The Champions League qualifying rounds are going, and it's my favourite part of the Champions League, actually, because it's when all the not so good teams are in it, and I find it really interesting. And to keep up with all of it, you can download the One Football app free from the top line of the description. It's the best place to keep up to date with all of the latest footballing news, scores and updates for Euro 2020, the Copa America, but also the Champions League qualifying, the whole actual section for Champions League qualifying, which I find really interesting. So you can keep up to date with all of that. I've got it all favorited so I can actually see all the games as they happen, when they happen, because I'm a bit of a nerd like that. But you know, when you've got the champions of Kosovo taking on the champions of Andorra in a qualifying round, you need to know what's going on. So make sure you download the app for absolutely free from the top line of the description to really help me and the channel out. Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode as we take on Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, which is very exciting. We'll also have our first group stage game of the Champions League, but obviously we need to find out who are playing in the Champions League. First things first though, make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. So we're going to kick things off today by looking at the 4 games we've played in between episodes, and we've played 4 and we've only won 3 of them. However, the one we lost isn't actually that important. We started off the season with a 1-0 win over Livingston, Jan Cavalcanti getting the goal in that one on his debut. You love to see it. We then absolutely thrashed Hamilton 5-1. Lewis Ferguson with a brace, Diaz with a brace, and Jez Finley got the final goal. We then rotated the lineup massively for the game against Livingston, playing quite a few youngsters. You can see it behind my shoulders here, if I can... There, you can see it now, look, you can see the team behind me. And I'm now looking the wrong way to see the team because the way the camera works. But a very young team came unstuck at home against Livingston in the Betfred Cup second round, and we lost it 2-1, so out the Betfred Cup, but not really too much of an issue. I don't think we'll get sacked over that one. The main focus, of course, will be winning the league title again, and we've picked up 9 points from 9 available thanks to Admilson's late goal in the game against Hearts. So very early on, you can see that we are currently joint top of the table with Celtic and Rangers, all 3 teams having won all 3 games. Today, obviously, that will change because we're going to play Celtic, so either we're going to lose or they're going to lose or we're going to draw. There's also been a transfer bid made for Sean McRae. Hearts want him and tempted to let him go on the grounds that he's just not as good as his brother Thad, just not quite developing the way we want him to. And actually, it's a little bit of money forward. You can't, it's behind my head, you can see, look, £130,000, £400,000 in the future. We'll make it bigger for you, as you can see. For me, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. Let's get him out of the club, make some money, and hopefully actually make Hearts a better club to then improve the European coefficient rankings further down the line. Speaking of transfers as well, I got very scared about Caio Henrique in between episodes. Now, luckily, no one wants to sign him right now. That's because he has signed a new contract. Juventus put a bid of £20 million in, and I got very, very scared. But then it struck me, why didn't I just give him a new contract? Because usually what that means for the next 6 months is that they don't want to go anywhere else. I found that trying to sign players yesterday's transfer special. There are a few players that I wanted that just didn't want to join us because they only just moved to the club in the previous 6 months or so. So they weren't interested in signing for us. They wanted to stay at their club. So we put that contract in for Caio Henrique, and his release fee clause has dropped to 19. It was 23.5. It's now 19. That was the maximum I could do for him, 19 million. But what it should mean is that he's happy to stay at the club at least until next summer. I doubt he'll want to leave in January, having only just signed a new contract. That's my thinking, at least. That's my hope. So hopefully we've got Caio for the season. We'll just keep offering new contracts and trying to get rid of the release fee clause. Of course, there's also clauses in there for Shaban. Need to try and get that out at some point. Admilson and of course Jan Cavalcanti. So expect to see these guys keep getting offered contracts. But anyway, enough of that. No one else has joined the club. No one else has left the club, I don't think. As far as Ryan Duncan left the club to go to Auxerre for £150,000. A youth player that we never really used at all. He's a pretty decent player, but just was never going to do anything for us. But let's get straight into it. The Champions League group stage draw. We're a third seeded team again, and I am very excited for this one. Unfortunately, we're not a tier 1 or a top seeded team, but Celtic are, as you can see. They won the Europa League last season, which makes them a number 1 seed for this season's competition. So fingers crossed they do quite well. So obviously that's one Scottish team we've got out of the way there. The sad thing is Rangers didn't make the Champions League group stage. They had to go through qualifying rounds and they've not made it. We'll catch up with them shortly. In the meantime, let's go and see who the second seeded teams are, and then we need to decide what group we'd like to be in. And if I'm honest with you, maybe Group C, because we beat Barcelona last season and I reckon we could do a good job against Ajax. So Group C looks very nice right now. I don't want to be in Group A because Milan are very, very good in this. They won the Champions League a couple seasons ago. Bayern Munich are the current holders, so Group H, I'd rather stay away from that. I'll be honest, all of them look pretty tough, apart from maybe Group C. So actually, I don't think we'll be happy whatever group we go into, and it is Group A, which is one of the more tough groups out there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get through Milan and Real Madrid. Who are going to be the final team in there? Out of all these teams down here, as long as it's not Bayer Leverkusen, or I think Torino are pretty good in this version of the universe as well. I'd rather not have Torino. We get Young Boys. Okay, well that's a little bit of a blast from the past, the old derby days from Grasshoppers and Young Boys. Hopefully we can give them a good battering. Now what we do need to look out for, of course, are the Portuguese teams in here. So we've got Benfica, Sporting and Porto. Hopefully they all lose. Ajax are the only Dutch team, so hopefully they get knocked out as well. Of course, thinking about coefficient points there. A lot of Portuguese teams here this season. Rangers could have really helped us out if they'd got here. First Champions League group stage game we have is actually against Young Boys, which is quite nice, so fingers crossed we batter them. Rangers though, as you can see, despite winning 3-2 in the second leg, did end up losing to Monaco in the Champions League third qualifying round, and actually I thought this meant they went into the Europa League. They don't. They lost in the third qualifying round to Monaco, and if we look at the rules for the third qualifying round, losers get drawn into the Europa League group stages. Oh, okay. So they should be in the Europa League group stage. I guess just hasn't been drawn yet. It's not been drawn yet. So let's just press continue and we'll see where Rangers end up. Ignore this bit. So Rangers ended up losing to Monaco in their Champions League qualifying round. Despite winning the second leg 3-2, they lost the first one 3-1, sadly. So Rangers out of the Champions League, but they are straight into the group stages of the Europa League. They've been drawn against Roma, Portimonense and Cologne, as you can see in Europa League Group A. So fingers crossed fingers crossed Rangers can get through that one. Rangers ended up losing their Champions League qualifying round against Monaco, unfortunately, a very difficult team to come up against. But what it does mean is they go into the Europa League and hopefully they can pull off a Celtic of last season and win the Europa League. They come up against Rangers, Portimonense and Cologne in their group. As for Hibs, they got through their Europa Conference League qualifying round, so they're into the Europa Conference League groups. They face Karabag, Frankfurt and Shakhtar Donetsk. Pretty difficult group actually. Whereas Hamilton got absolutely battered by Rostov, unfortunately, and are out of the Europa Conference League. Of course, we are still locked in battle with the Dutch and the Portuguese teams this season, and actually the Russian teams aren't too far behind, and neither are Czech Republic teams, so maybe keep an eye out on those guys, but it's mainly the Dutch and the Portuguese we need to look out for. As we spoke about already, there are, 3 Portuguese teams in the Champions League, 2 Scottish and 1 Dutch. In the Europa League, there's 1 Scottish and 1 Portuguese, and they're actually in the same group, Rangers and Portimonense. But we also need to look out for, as well, in terms of coefficient points, we need to look out for PSV in Group H from the Dutch, and RZ in Group D. And then in the Europa Conference League, there's 1 of each. We've got 1 Scottish team in Hibs, we've got 1 Dutch team in Feyenoord, and 1 Portuguese team in Vitória. So actually, I think we're on the back foot already. We've got the fewest teams, we've only got 4 teams. I think Portugal and the Dutch have 5 teams, so already are slightly on the back foot. Anyway, heading into today's first game against Celtic, I do want to go a little bit cautious given that we did lose to Livingston. We've not looked overly strong so far this season. So the 4-4-1-1 I think is the way to go against Celtic. We've got Bazunu in goal with a backline of Pavlik, Suva, Caio Henrique and Torres. La Cruz, Winks and Tam Lumper maintain their positions in the midfield. Robert Didau starts on the right wing though. Apparently he is the best player we've got that does actually play right midfield. Ben Knight apparently cannot play right midfield. He just doesn't like it at all. So he's more right wing and attacking midfield, and he'll play in the attacking midfield today. In behind Shaban, our new striker, who actually is yet to score. In fact, everyone who's starting today has not scored a goal yet this season, which is slightly concerning. So as kickoff is upon us here today, what are our aims this season? Well, obviously we need to try and win the league again. That has to be our aim every single season now, win the league, and hopefully we can do that with the team that we've got. We're going to try and make some signings in January. Normally we don't, but we really do need a right midfielder slash winger who can play there properly when Ben Knight does play in the attacking midfielder role, or who's better than Ben Knight in general. And of course we need to look for a left back, so I'm going to do plenty of scouting of that this season. However, we do need to try and win the league, so that's obviously the first target for us. Second target is going to be getting out of our Champions League group, and that's going to be so difficult given Milan and Real Madrid being in there. It might not happen, I don't know. I'm a little nervy for it as Bazunu, really out of position there, does get the ball cleared to an Aberdeen player though. If we get through our Champions League group, obviously just try and go as far as possible in the Champions League. We're nowhere near winning it yet, as Robert Didau scores his first of the season. I was slating him a minute ago, saying we need to sign someone better on the right wing for now at least, but maybe he's ready right now after scoring a great goal there for us in off the post. La Cruz into Shaban, Shaban into Robert Didau, and a nice goal in off the post. As I was saying though, obviously we need to try and get out our Champions League group. If we don't do that and we come third, we have to. Their expectation is to win the Europa League. If Celtic can do it, then we can do it. That's my thinking. If we ever get into the Europa League again, either we win it or it's a failure. That is my honest opinion of the Europa League now, knowing that Celtic have done it and won it. So really, we've got to pick up some silverware this season, as finally Shaban gets his first goal of the season. A beautiful goal there, assisted by Robert Didau. A great game for him so far. You love to see it. Potentially a nice partnership between these two players forming already. You love to see it, both getting goals and assists for each other. And already we are at half time, so a very quick first half there. All the highlights pretty much ended up in goals for us, and that is exactly what you want to see. Also, at the end of last season, we got told apparently a new stadium is on its way at some point. If you look at the, well, I say if you, when I show you in a minute's time the club's information, apparently they're looking for a stadium with a capacity of 33,750 seats, apparently. This second half, by the way, is flown by. 75 minutes on the clock already. This is the first highlight, and it's just a corner that's gone over the bar. Ben Knight having a poor game, weirdly, and Juan Torres looking tired, so Brian Portier will come on for him. Let's get Ben Knight off for Lewis Ferguson. And anyone else not playing particularly well or looking tired? Didau looking quite tired, just no one can come on the pitch for him. Pavlik having a poor game. Maybe let's bring Admilson on just for the final 15 minutes. But it's been a very boring game. 6 shots to 2 shots. Clearly neither strike force is having much fun out there today, although ours did have some fun because they scored 2 goals. And as you can see, the game went by very quickly. A lovely and comfortable 2-0 win. It keeps us joint top of the table with Rangers, who beat St Johnstone 3-2 despite a late St Johnstone comeback. Right, I've now got international break and the Kilmarnock game to play, but I'll be back with you ever so shortly for the Young Boys game. Just before we do that, I can show you obviously facilities. Searching for a site, playing capacity 33,750. So that's the latest on the stadium. Right, so finally back now for the Young Boys game. It took a little while to get through international break and through the Kilmarnock game, which we just about won 1-0. Thad McRae scoring in the 94th minute there to ensure another 3 points for us. So we still stay top of the table alongside Rangers, who have scored a lot more goals than us, but we've only conceded 1 so far this season, which is pretty decent going. We just can't seem to score right now. But the game against Young Boys, I am expecting a big win. We're going to play Fuentalba in goal for this one with Pavlik at left back. And I was slagging him off a little bit earlier on, the same as I was Robert Didau. Robert Didau scored a goal and got an assist. Pavlik, I was slagging off saying we need a new left back. He has just gone on to make his first 2 appearances for the Czech Republic national team at 19 years old, which is pretty impressive. And if we look at his milestones, has just won Scottish Premiership Young Player of the Month, beating Caio Henrique to it. So maybe there is hope for him yet, and maybe we don't need a new left back if we've got Pavlik. I'm joking, I think we really do need a new left back. Probably. Either way, he starts in the back line with Admilson, Caio Henrique and Torres, Ferguson and Tam Lumper just ahead of them, with the Cruz and Knight on the wings, and your first glimpse of both Jan Cavalcanti and Shaban playing on the pitch at the same time. Although as kickoff is upon us, I don't think they've actually scored a goal whilst both being on the pitch at the same time, which is a little concerning. It's going to take some time for them to gel and get used to each other. That's what I'm hoping, at least, as the first highlight of this game is Young Boys scoring a goal, but I think it has been ruled for offside. The linesman's got his flag up down here. I'm not quite sure where the offside is, but that was very poor defending from us. Really a bit of a shaky start for us 2 minutes into the game. Let's see the replay on this one. So where is the offside in all of this? I mean, I feel like this is... I think it might actually come off their man there, maybe. I'm not too sure. It seemed very harsh, but I'll take it. I'm not going to complain about not conceding a goal, but I am going to complain about Fuentalba's poor distribution, which nearly results in them scoring a goal seconds later anyway. Celtic are playing PAOK right now in their Champions League group. So I'd like to think Celtic, who actually is in Celtic's group? I didn't even check, to be fair, earlier on properly. Celtic have got, if we can find them, Porto and Borussia Dortmund. So actually, that's a pretty nice group. If they can beat Porto, then that's really good for our coefficient points, but also good for us to get more teams into the Champions League later stages. That would be really handy for us. Fingers crossed though, Ben Knight is going to come forward and deliver a ball straight onto the head of one of our strikers, although he's not going to do it because Jan Cavalcanti gets the ball instead, and La Cruz's shot is saved by the keeper. A lot more going on in this game than the Celtic game, but we're not seeing any goals yet from us, which is a little concerning as Caio Henrique does nothing, loses possession probably, and that's the end of the highlight. Celtic are 1-0 up though in their group, as you can see, so, and Porto losing to Dortmund, that's really handy for us. But here over in Switzerland at the greatest stadium name in the world, Wankdorf, what a stadium name that is. It's 0-0. Which is not what we want to see, unfortunately. I think potentially we might need to look at changing up formations slightly on the grounds that, I don't know, this season's, apart from the 5-1 win we had against Hamilton, whoever it was, we are not delivering the goals that we should be delivering. Like, we're scraping a 1-0 in the 94th minute, or we're conceding penalties in the 45th minute at the start of the second half with Caio Henrique. Fuentalba, please, 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 it's a penalty. I think we all saw it was definitely a penalty. No VAR needed. Fuentalba, please do us a favour, make a big save, because he does make a save. You love to see it. Great stuff for him there to make that penalty save, but we need to make some chances count now in the second half. We're going to shout demand more. We're going to go a bit more attacking as Torres just slide tackles the ball into the young boy attackers there, as Fuentalba again making a good save. Come on, lads. Can we not do a Celtic and go 5-0 up, please, against their team? We need to get some goals sorted out, but right now, we're not really doing much, unfortunately. And maybe one of the culprits for that is Ferguson, who's on having a poor game. We'll get him off for Harry Winks. Maybe get Nisbet on for Jan Cavalcanti, who's on a 6.5 rating. And La Cruz pretty poor out there. Let's get him swapped for Jez Finley. 20 minutes to go. Demand more. I just want to win 1-0. Milana beating Real Madrid 2-0 as well. Winks has picked up a knock where you can't come off, lad, because we've got no subs left. So we need to get a result here. Right. Very attacking. Instructions. Just quickly change things up a little bit. Distribute to... We'd probably change this permanently, shouldn't we? Just do this permanently. Play it from the back all the time, maybe. But I can't believe... Come on. Come on. Highlight something, please. We need to... That's poor. That is really poor from us. And that's 2 points dropped. Huge 2 points drop there. Milan have beaten Real Madrid. I guess that's quite good for us to an extent, but we need those 3 points because, I mean, playing against Milan and Real Madrid is going to be so difficult. So that was not ideal at all, unfortunately. Next time, we are going to come back for Real Madrid and Rangers. Hopefully, we're going to win every single game between here and now. The game against Milan might be a bit difficult to win, but we're going to give it a good go either way. I'm pretty confident that we are playing at home against Milan and Real Madrid. I'm thinking that might do us some favours, fingers crossed, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Goals are certainly an issue for us right now. Take away that Hamilton 5-1 victory, we are struggling to score, and that needs to be addressed. So, thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.